Here, 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 here we go.
We are controlling transmission. Controlling transmission.
3.
All right, everybody. My name is James Sweasy here from James Sweasy Live. I'm here with Steve McComb from Lose the Radio, and the one and only John McAfee is joining us today. John, we are very excited to have you. Very just interesting to be around. You're an interesting guy.
Well, thank you, James. I'm happy to be with you, quite frankly. I'm always excited to meet new people and say new things.
Yeah. John, I wanted to be well prepared, which I am. I have some stuff here. But then your resume is extensive. It reads like stereo instructions, man. It's all over the place. It's everything. Like I was telling my guys, I was like, this conversation could go anywhere from NASA to bath salts, right? So everybody's
if you wish, I'll talk about either or both. I'm easy.
Yeah. So guys, we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter via Periscope. If y'all want to go down and hit the share button or retweet, and we're going to talk about something here in a minute. First, we're just going to talk to John, but if you look at the caption above, it's Ghost by McAfee. That's GHOSTBY McAfee, MCAFEE.com. Something I'm very interested to hear about. So ghostbymcafee.com. Go over and follow John. Some time ago, I was playing on Twitter, and I was on your Twitter page, and you were following people for whatever reason, right? And I went in there underneath it, and it had to have a pithy comment or something for a reason to get John McAfee to follow you. So in a sea of all these comments, I just said, follow me for the fuck of it, and put a question mark. And you came in right underneath it and said, okay, for the fuck of it. And I was like, I love this guy. This is great. This is great.
Well, listen, I get hundreds of requests per day to follow people. Sometimes I do just for the fuck of it. And since you said for the fuck of it, I go, well, hell yes. Why not?
So, John, as an entrepreneur myself, I'm a businessman. You're a very successful businessman. I know everybody's always trying to guess your net worth. I don't care about any of that, but I know you're very successful. Tell me about the times like when you said on your Twitter, I got lucky. You said I have a pair of balls and I got lucky, right? As far as your business. Tell me about the times like, you used to work at NASA, right? And when at the time when you were starting McAfee Associates, can you tell us?
No. Actually, I worked at NASA way early in my career. That was 1971. No, I was working with Lockheed when I started McAfee on the Black program. Those of you who do not understand what a Black program is, it's a program that officially, according to the U.S. government, does not exist. Do you understand? So, and Lockheed is one of the main defense contractors for the U.S. government, building their, stealth bombers and what have you. So I got tapped for a Black program. I've always been very technically competent, at the same time, very socially irresponsible. So in any case, I got tapped. I was working at Lockheed as a software engineer working on some fairly high-tech projects. Doesn't matter what they were. And I got tapped for a Black program in another state. And so my boss called me and he said, listen, they're interested in moving you into a Black program. You have to get a top secret security clearance. We're going to schedule that, and which they did the following week. Now, in that interview, I mean, they asked things like, have you ever fucked a chicken? And I'm going, yeah, God, not that I can remember, really. I don't think so. Have you ever taken drugs? Yes, absolutely. What kind? Ooh. Well, it would be better to ask me, what kind have I not taken? Have you ever sold drugs? Yes, absolutely. What kind? Same answer. You name it, I've sold it. Why? I have good money in it, people. I mean, fuck me. I mean, I'm not an idiot. Have you ever cheated on your wife? Yes, absolutely. More than once, as often as I could. I'm being serious, people. I mean, because Listen, I know who I'm fucking talking to. I'm talking to the National Security fucking Agency. And if I tell them a single fucking lie, I know I'm going to lose my goddamn job. So, however, if I tell them the truth, the worst that will happen is I go back to my job and I don't get a black card. So anyway, question after question after question after question. Ever cheated on girlfriends? Yes. How many? All of them, as far as I can remember. So I go back to my boss the next day and I said, plus I get a lie detector test and all kinds of other. You just can't believe what it takes to get a top secret security clearance. Anyway, so I go back to my boss and say, listen, and it was a woman. Can't remember her name anymore. I think maybe Barbara. Listen, I want to be with you for a long time because I am not going to get a security clearance. 1 week later, a top secret security clearance came through for me. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know whether it just doesn't fucking matter or whether they go, all right, listen, I don't think this guy is going to be, I mean, how in the hell can you blackmail him? I mean, he's without question just said, yeah, I've cheated my wife, cheated my girlfriend for drugs, sold drugs, never fucked a chicken to the best of my knowledge. But listen, I have been stoned out of my mind many times. So if I did during one of those times, I just can't remember. They gave me a fucking security clearance, and for a year, I worked on a black program, which I unfortunately cannot tell you about, even to this day. Otherwise, even though the CIA is after me and the FBI and everybody else, and Janice and I are in hiding, they would find me and whack me. I just know. So, why did I tell that story?
We were just talking about you working at NASA and then starting McAfee.
But that was actually Lockheed, not NASA.
Okay, at Lockheed. Yeah, I brought up NASA.
Lockheed, okay. Yeah. 1985 is when that happened. In 1987, I started McAfee, and that was an accident. And if you think that successful businessmen get successful by creating an idea, making a plan, getting funding, is what makes people succeed, you know nothing about history. Not one single successful business was started with a goddamn plan, people. I mean, look at Microsoft. Here's a good example. Bill Gates, one of the richest men on the planet. Did he plan that? Fuck no. He was some kid with a partner in Seattle, Washington, writing code for the Intel 8080 processor, which is just so happened what IBM chose for the world's first true open architecture personal computer, the IBM PC. They first went to a company called Digital Research. This is on a fucking Friday. I knew both these people. I knew Bill Gates. I knew Digital Research people on a Friday in the morning and said, hi, we're building a personal computer. We want to use your software. And here's our contract, sign it. And they go, well, we got to have our lawyers look it over. Da, 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 da. And they go, well, okay, fine. They left, flew that same day up to Seattle. Sat with Bill Gates, and he said, where do I fucking sign? That's what created Bill? A fucking accident, people. How did I start McAfee?
Yes. What was your accident?
My accident, I was working for Lockheed on a black program, so I was traveling to a different state every Monday morning and flying back to California, to Santa Clara, every Friday evening. And it was a Sunday, and my brother-in-law, that worthless motherfucker, never had a goddamn job. He was living with my wife and I, a parasite on my income, although my wife, Judy, at the time, was a flight attendant, so she had her own money. Nevertheless, he was reading the papers, San Jose Mercury News. And at that time, by the way, not only was I working on a black program, I also had Silicon Valley's largest bulletin board system. This is prior to the internet, people. We didn't have worldwide communications. We had bulletin board systems. I had one with 32 phone lines coming into my house, where I ran on TBBS, the bulletin board system I used, the largest bulletin board in Silicon Valley. In any case, so my brother-in-law goes, "Look at this. There's an article about a computer virus." I go, "Computer virus? What the fuck? What is that? Give me the paper." So I read the article. It was about this thing, this piece of software that was destroying computer systems around the world that they just discovered the day before. And it was called the Pakistani brain computer virus. Why? Because that's what was written in the virus. This is the Pakistani brain computer virus. We found out later, written by two brothers from Lahore, Pakistan, who ran a fucking computer repair shop. Brilliant programmers. Now, I was extremely well known at that time as a software engineer, having worked for NASA, for Lockheed, General Electric, Univac. So I called a friend at Stanford who had a copy, and I said, "Give me the copy." I drove up to Stanford, grabbed a floppy disk with the virus, came back, took it apart, looked at it and go, "Fuck, incredible." It was the world's first true artificial intelligence. I mean, what is artificial intelligence? If we're talking about a living entity, well, this program had three functions: hide, survive, and propagate. I mean, that's what all living beings do. And I was flabbergasted. I mean, I wish I had known them. I wish I had hired them, actually. But in any case, as soon as I took it apart, I saw, well, fuck me, here's how you fix this. So I wrote a little program to find it, destroy it, and put the system back together, put it up on my bulletin board, and forgot about it. 3 weeks later, I had 10 million users around the world. Because how did bulletin board systems work? Well, you downloaded a program from one. If it was good, you uploaded it to all the others that you were members of. I mean, every person was members of dozens of bulletin boards. So 10 million users. And 6 months later, I had $30 million in the bank. And that's how McAfee started. It was a fucking accident. All businesses that are successful are one thing: the opportunity. Now, to make that happen, what did I have to do? Had to quit my job. And by the way, working for black programs, well, there is nothing finer. On the fucking, keep in mind, the black programs is where they pay $1,000 per toilet seat for a goddamn toilet. I'm just saying now. Okay, so you can imagine how much I was making compared to the rest of the world. I quit that, abandoned that. So I lost my job. It was scary, but that's what opportunity is. And opportunity comes by your nose every fucking moment of your life. The question is, do you want to grab it or don't you? Like with Microsoft, the guy at Digital Research that also had an operating system for the Intel 8080, which is the processor used by IBM, chose, well, I don't know, we got to have our lawyers look at it. Well, fuck, that's not taking an opportunity. Bill Gates go, fuck yes, where do I sign? And that's what, with the difference, Digital Research disappeared from the face of the earth. And Microsoft became what it is because Bill Gates took the fucking risk. Do you understand?
Yes.
He didn't create it. He didn't plan it. He didn't strategize it. He merely saw the opportunity and understood his risk because, trust me, if the opportunity is great enough, if you take it, you've got to risk your job, your wife, your children, your car, your house, everything you've ever fucking loved or known. Otherwise, people, there is no success. This is what makes success. Balls. Nothing else. Nothing else. I'm sorry to put it so simply.
No, I love it.
But
I love it that simple. I've built a platform and a business on my own with information that I got from someone else.
Then you know what the risks are, and you fucking took them, did you not?
I did.
And you can't succeed without that. People go, oh, I don't have to risk anything. All I got to do is have a great fucking idea and a plan. No, a great idea and a plan is just going to cost you time, energy, and money, and get you nowhere. The only thing that brings success is risk. Are you willing to risk losing every fucking thing you have ever loved, hoped, or dreamed for? If not, then we'll just stay where you are and continue your sheep-like existence. But if you truly look for an opportunity that changes your life, then you must be willing to abandon everything that you own, that you love, that you have. There you have it.
That's fantastic. I've always wanted to hear you talk about that. And so let's go to, you said yourself, a little socially irresponsible. From where I'm sitting, that was technical genius that you were just talking about. Just a little,
what I took from that is I should pack up all my computer equipment right now and all my monitors and move somewhere and just start my podcast platform and just go with it. Fuck everything else. Is that what you're saying, John?
Well, let me ask you this. Number one, do you love it?
I do.
And it brings you joy.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Fuck yes, do it. Do it.
That's all I needed. That's all. The great John McAfee told me to do it. That's what I'm going for.
By the way, the risk is still there, people. The risk is still there.
Of course it is.
You still are going to risk losing everything and gaining nothing. That is part of that risk. I can't help you with the nothing part. All right. Okay. But you at least have the opportunity to change your life. End of story.
The opportunity has presented itself. And that I have a very similar thing, John. I did it backwards though. I started with the heroin, prostitutes, cocaine, meth, all those ones that you say are for candy asses, right? Like I saw your tweet the other day about that's low level, right? And
but by the way, my friend, there's also opportunity there. I mean, I've known heroin dealers who have $1 million. I'm serious. It's a fact of life. I mean, so
it is. I guess that was part of the attraction.
In all walks of life, there are opportunities. You don't have to look at technology or a legal business. I mean, fuck me. There's all kinds of opportunity everywhere. Listen, I met a hitman in Central America who had millions of dollars because he contracted out to other hitmen. He was just smart enough to go, listen, why am I going around whacking people myself? I should hire other whackers. Please, don't judge me for talking about this, but he was a nice man. Brilliant. Honest, actually. Very honest. A bit scary. But there you have it.
Yeah. That, I have a similar experience. Not quite as, I haven't been arrested 21 times in 11 different countries, but I did black out in Costa Rica one time. I went down to take Ibogaine, which I'm sure you're familiar with. I was addicted to heroin and some
Jesus God, man. I mean, if you're going to take Ibogaine, you should do it under a doctor's supervision.
No, there was none of that going on. No, we were in
That's
the
your fault.
Yes,
your
100%.
Nobody
it
else
was sold to me as the cure for addiction. I'm an AA guy. By the way.
Well, hang on. That's what Ibogaine is marketed for, is it not?
It is.
Whether it's alcohol, drugs, or whatever. Okay. Does it work? I don't have a fucking idea because I have never taken it to cure addiction. I don't particularly believe in addiction.
I'm an addict, so I took it 3 times, like an addict would.
I understand. I don't even know what an addict is. I wish I did. I really do. I mean, I was in AA for a while, a long time actually.
That's very simple.
I can quote you the steps. I can do the whole thing, but I don't believe that addiction is a reality. It is merely a description of a lifestyle, self-chosen. And if you look at those who we, looking back in history, would have called addictive people, who are they? Picasso. The great artist. I mean, Jesus God, look at Lewis Carroll, for fuck's sake. The real name was Reverend Thomas Dodson. we would say, well, he was addicted to opium, but God damn it, does it matter? What he left us because of that fucking addiction is still with us. Over 150 years later, people. And if you look at what he created, I've never seen more brilliant poetry in my fucking life. Never. I mean, if you look at some of his great poems and you look at the first letter of each line, one of them spells Alice Pleasant's Little, the little girl that he was tutoring. Now, whether or not he was sexually attracted to her, I don't give a flying fuck. The story is still beautiful. The poem is still miraculous. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to diss your admission to addiction and your admission to helplessness, and your reliance on a higher power, your need to unburden your conscience by confessing to another human being. None of this. Your intent to help others. And I'm not dissing that at all. All I'm saying is, I don't think addiction is a bad thing. I don't. I really do not.
It's a survival instinct, right? That's why you see it where there's been these areas of like Holocaust-like adversity. This addiction gene will emerge and make a person restless, irritable, and discontent. Think about it. Would you rather be stuck in a foxhole with someone that's calm, cool, and collective, or the person that's peeking around the corner like a tweaker every 3 seconds, right? Who would you rather be in battle?
If the person's looking around the corner like a tweaker and it's saving your life, I'll take the tweaker. So
I will too.
Because paranoia is in fact a life-supporting quality. But let me tell you something. Now, I drink at least 2 bottles of whiskey every day, at least 2 bottles of wine. I take every drug on the planet. I'm 74. I don't think I would be here if I did not. I really don't, people. Why? It's just in my bones. I'm Irish. I like to drink. And I think that if people are true to themselves rather than true to what others think they should be, true to the fact that, well, I don't know what addiction is, man. I mean, I drink 2 bottles this a day. Am I addicted? Fuck me. Maybe. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't give a flying fuck. It's what I do. And it's what gives me the limited fucking creativity I still have at my age. And certainly the drugs do. And I spent years doing none of this, no drugs. And I'll be really frank with you, those years were the least productive of my life. I'm telling you now. Now, I'm not saying go out and drink and do drugs. Fuck no. I'm talking about me. I follow my heart. I don't follow this piece of shit. The mind. It's the mind. Does the heart create the word addiction? Fuck no. It's the mind that created the concept of addiction, whether it's sexual addiction, alcoholic addiction, drug addiction, addiction to power. I mean, it's a stupid word, if you ask me. It really is. It really is.
What's your favorite drug of choice?
You know, when people ask me that, I'm sorry you did ask it, quite frankly. I just took 2 points, so I'm sorry. I just took 2 points off of your tally here. No.
Damn it. Sorry.
What does that mean?
Shut up, Steve.
What? No. That doesn't mean shut up. It means you didn't quite think it through. My favorite drug for sexual enhancement, my favorite drug for self-examination, my favorite drug for conversation, my favorite drug for dancing, my favorite drug for staying up for a fucking week, priming myself for a goddamn exam. No, I mean, Jesus, and I could go on forever, because really there are thousands of drugs to do thousands of different things. So if you'll give me my favorite drug for what? And I'll tell you. If it's sex, by the way, I'll tell you right off the goddamn bat. Methylene dioxypyrovalerone. Holy shit. You've never had sex. to take an MDPV with a partner of the opposite or same sex or sheep. You know, I've never tried it with a sheep. I don't like sheep. I've never done an animal that I can remember. That I can remember. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, there are parts of my life which are seriously blacked out. But no, MDPV for, and also and by the way, the other thing MDPV is spectacular for, and it's the only drug I've ever taken that gives you tactile hallucinations and audio and visual. So now, I mean, first time I took it, I didn't think anything had fucking happened. I got ripped off. Motherfucker, when I get back, I'm going to wring his fucking neck. No. So I was standing in line at a bank, and suddenly my dick was being sucked. No. And I could hear, it was a woman, I could hear going, you know, and I looked down and there's nobody there. Nobody there. And I looked up, the bank was gone. So, listen, I'm just saying right now, you think LSD or DMT are hallucinogenics? You have no fucking clue, people. Okay, so that's my favorite drug for sex, and I mean, just experimenting with tactile hallucinations. And listen, I've probably taken 2 fucking kilograms of that, and the max dose is 5 milligrams. So you can imagine how much I've done.
So that's, you know, your experiences with all that, John, like you said, arrested 21 times in 11 different countries. You're in a financial position to get yourself out of it. Do you think this would have taken you down if you didn't have the finances? No,
absolutely not. Listen, you know, I mean, I have to admit, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. In my most serious situation, Guatemala. Okay, I'm in a Guatemala prison. I just escaped from police because the goddamn army is after me.
I saw all of that. Yeah.
I'm there for 2 months, and police is demanding that Guatemala send me back to Belize. Well, fortunately, in Guatemala, it's legal. I hired. This sounds crazy. The Attorney General for the country of Guatemala, Telesforo Guerra, for $100,000. I said, I just want one thing: get me back to America. Well, after a month or so, that's exactly what happened. So that took money. Janice and I were arrested 8 months ago in the Dominican Republic. Oh, by the way, if you're looking for a jail experience, do not choose the Dominican Republic as your first go, because I've never experienced anything quite like it. I mean, no fuck. If you want to take a shit, it's in the milk carton in the middle of the fucking floor. You got no mattresses, concrete floor, no glass in the windows, mosquitoes so fucking thick you could lick them up and survive on them. I mean, no, it's some serious shit. So no.
So you're giving it a 1-star review. You heard it right here, people. 1-star review for Dominican Republic
hang on.
prison.
If you are an experienced jail person and you want to experience the extreme, I've experienced it. Dominican Republic. No, I mean, it makes Guatemala look like the fucking Ritz-Carlton. I'm just saying right now. What's my number 1 jail experience? Mexico. I've only been jailed twice in Mexico. Both times were like party fucking central. See, people say, oh God, Mexican jails are horrible. Fuck no. I mean, yeah, you gotta sleep on a concrete floor, but fuck me, you're in a cell that's 20 by 20 with 14 other people. I mean, it's party fucking central. First time I was in Puerto Vallarta. I got arrested for selling jewelry without a license. I mean, that's very trivial. I apologize for even mentioning it. Nevertheless, fuck me. I mean, first of all, the sergeant in charge of the jail is right outside the cell. He's talking all the time. People having friends bring them tequila and burritos, which is shared all around. Fuck me. Never had more fun. I didn't want out. When they got me, I go, no. Excellent. The number 2 worst jail out of the Dominican is America. You don't understand.
Interesting.
No, please, people, you have no concept what a horror American jails are. what's the horror? They are sterile, empty of any human compassion, empty of any fun whatsoever. I mean, listen, Mexican jail's top of the fucking. You want to get arrested? Go to Mexico, get in a bar fight. You're not going to do more than 4 or 5 days. You're going to have a blast. Do that in America. 4 days in an American jail is like 1,000 years in a Mexican jail. I mean, I've been arrested in America a few times. God damn it, I don't ever want to be arrested there again. And you know, I'm in hiding now with my wife, Janice, because America's after me. So, good God, let's all pray. Well, I don't know. Maybe you don't give a shit about me. In fact, probably some of you out there hate my guts because of, I don't know what. You don't like my face. You don't like some of the things I've said. Well, I mean, it's your right. You are American. God damn it, American jails. Fuck me. Right below Dominican Republic as the worst fucking jails on the planet.
And how many times, I hope you don't mind me asking this, how many times has Janice been arrested with you?
Oh, twice. Only twice.
How does that affect Janice? Does she take it like you do?
Let me
Just,
tell
this
you,
is what it
okay,
is?
I want to be honest with you. After 4 days in the Dominican Republic jail, she was in actually the cell block of the cell. That's the thing, cell blocks. It's in a fucking garbage dump. The jail literally is in a garbage dump. Literally, there's no glass. I could hear the women in the women's jail. She could hear me. I was laughing the entire time because I was having a blast. I don't give a bad how bad jail is. That's where I am. Can't change it. Can't break out. I'm having fun. In fact, my first night. Okay, so I got arrested with, unfortunately, my staff. Right, poor guys. Should be careful who you work for. In any case, one of them, a Haitian guy named Julio, a young guy, about 25. So first night, we go to bed. Now he takes his fucking pants off. His underwear, Mickey fucking Mouse all over his underwear. Now I'm going, God damn, I've never seen that. I go, ooh, Julio. I've actually never noticed how cute you really are. So everybody in the cell starts cracking up, except for Coolio, of course.
Right.
And so all night long I was saying, hey guys, is Coolio asleep yet? I don't know. I mean, you got to do the best you can where you are. In any case, Janice hated me. And after the 4 days, when we finally are back together, she says, listen, I'm not going back there. I don't give a shit what happens. So if I have to leave you, if I have to whatever, I am not going back there. And I go, oh, okay, then I guess I'll have to make sure that doesn't happen. And I made sure it didn't happen. And instead, they were trying to ship us back to America. God damn, America's got a long arm. So really, the entire time, they were saying, you have to go back to America. That's all we want. Just go back to America. I said, fuck you. I ain't going. I had a lawyer, 2 lawyers, actually, that kept us from going back and finally won our release and our freedom to go to England, wherever we went. And this was in July of last year. We went underground. We've been underground ever since. Underground's a lot of fun. Don't have to look over our shoulders. Can't have smartphones, obviously. And if you have a phone, for fuck's sake, they're going to find your ass. I don't give a shit who you are or where you are. They're going to find you. We don't have them. We can't.
So should I say ghost phone happened by accident?
Yeah, fuck no, it didn't happen by accident. I've been working on this for years. Why? Because I know where I'm ending up. No, I'm in a fucking Faraday cage, people. No signal can come out. No signal can come in. We have to live this way. If you don't know what a Faraday cage is, it's a signal shield. We have a hard line going from where we are through 5 fucking countries, finally, to an internet provider in a country 1,000 miles away. You cannot find us. You can't. This can't happen. Now, I put out signals all the time about where we are. Why? It's called disinformation.
Disinform.
The most powerful tool that we have today, and the only way you can ever maintain any privacy. So, in any case, we were off track.
That's all right.
I'm an old man. Okay. Next question.
You're doing just fine. So after all of that, we've talked about starting McAfee Associates. We've talked about going to jail in the different countries. Now you're on to. I want to get on to something new, the ghost phones that you're working on, and then we'll talk about if you don't mind, the civil unrest in America right now. Where are you at? So it says the ghost phone, the ghost exchange, and ghost coin, which I'm very interested in, by the way. I bought some.
Let's talk about the that's all one thing. It's one system, people. It's all packaged together. But the ghost phone is the most recent. Now the ghost phone, what is it? The only thing you can keep private anymore, if at all, is where you are and who you are. And even that is extremely difficult and not possible if you use a current cell phone. Why? Your cell phone, even if you bought one at Walmart under an assumed fucking name and had a friend buy it with their credit card, as soon as you start calling people, do you understand that the CIA, the NSA, the other 14 covert agencies, the American government track all calls? And they will see the pattern of, you called your friend here, you called that friend. And after 5 or 6 calls, they know exactly who the fuck you are. And if it is a cell phone and you are in a location that has to connect 2 cell towers, they know exactly where the fuck you are, even if you turned your location off. So you're fucked, people. So I've created the ghost phone. Now, it is a data-only phone. It's an eSIM phone. We sent out 3 days ago 20 eSIM cards all over the world, with just to test connectability. Every fucking one of them worked. The data rates are high. And what we have done is we have wrapped an extraordinary VPN around this phone. It only works with, unfortunately, the Samsung any phone really that supports eSIM. If you don't know what eSIM is, it's an emulated SIM card. So what's a SIM card? You go to AT&T, you get a phone, they put a phone chip in there. That's your goddamn card. That's how they locate you. That's everything. The newer phones have what's called emulated SIMs. Samsung S20, Samsung Fold, Samsung Flip, the Google Pixel, the newest Google Pixel, the newest iPhone. Right now, I'm afraid that's it. But within 6 months, everybody is going to have a new phone that supports eSIMs. Now all you got to do is download a little eSIM code, go into the systems, settings, connections, eSIM, scan, and suddenly you can take your hard SIM card out. Because who actually makes fucking phone calls anymore? In all seriousness, I mean, I'm talking to you on, I think this is Zoom or Skype or something.
Yeah, we're Zoom.
Zoom. And we're not using a fucking phone. And yet we're communicating, and I'm looking at you, motherfuckers. I mean, so what's the point of making a goddamn phone call where you got to pay by minutes, especially if you're calling Russia, China, or something else? So no, you can take your SIM card out, throw it away, stop paying the rent on it, of course. And now nobody ever will either know who you are or because we don't ask. Well, listen, you find somebody's credit card, we don't give a flying fuck whose it is. We're not give us the money. You got your card. We don't give a fuck beyond that. So no one can find out who you are, and no one can find out where you are. We're not required to give us documents, show a driver's license, a bank statement, an address. We don't give a flying fuck.
And that's the reason for the blockchain for the payment.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Well, you don't have to pay that way because, unfortunately, the small percentage of the world is actually into cryptocurrency. So most people will be paying by credit card. Still, I mean, that doesn't tell much, does it? A credit card doesn't give your location, and if you, for example, you can go and get a fucking pay-as-you-go card from a machine. They ask you who you are. Fuck no. As long as it's enough to pay us, that's fine. Okay. So now I'm already wanted by the Security and Exchange Commission for creating a decentralized exchange that requires know your customer and no anti-money laundering. We don't ask for your name, your email address, a document, nothing. They don't even charge anything. You just come through and start exchanging. So they're after me for that. They want that shut down, but unfortunately I can't. Here's the problem. I created that in logic and smart contracts on the blockchain. So I'm sorry, one of the unique aspects of the blockchain is that they are immutable forever. So I've sent them a letter saying, I'd love to shut it down, but I can't. Neither can God himself unless he wants to change the laws of physics and mathematics for the universe. Now, if he wants to do that, anyhow, maybe God can shut it down for it, but I can't, and sure as fuck, the SEC can't. So, and I'm also, of course, wanted by the IRS because I refused to pay taxes for 11 years. Why? It's unconstitutional in America. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit how you slice it. People go, well, if you don't pay taxes, what happens? Well, I don't know. Why don't you go back to 1913 when we had no fucking taxes and we were the industrial fucking power of this planet? What are we today, people? We have no industry. We're a goddamn service economy with the world's largest fucking military. Is this what the founding fathers envisioned? I don't think so. In any case, I haven't paid them. I never will under any fucking circumstances, people. And so the IRS has been after me. Now the SEC, I can't wait until September when the ghost phone goes live. I mean, maybe the U.S. military is now going to be after me. I don't fucking know. But they got to find me. And I'm going to be using that ghost phone. And if you can find a motherfucker using my phone, then the laws of physics have turned upside down.
I have a question about the ghost phone. So let's say,
yes, sir.
Let's say that I'm due for an upgrade through Verizon, and I get the newest Samsung, and it's got the e-chip in it, and I download your program and I turn my phone into a ghost phone. What does that do to the provider? Like, is Verizon going to be able to?
No, it's not Verizon anymore. Whoa.
Okay.
Ghost. We're just like AT&T. We're like Verizon. We're like anybody. Keep in mind, here's the problem. See, nobody anticipated somebody like John McAfee existing, right? So what happened? They first and foremost said, you know what? Why don't we goddamn combine all of the cell services because the AT&T people are pissing off, getting pissed because when they go through Kansas, they got no service. And the Verizon people are getting pissed because in South Carolina, they got no service. So no, it's all one thing now, people. All one thing. And I'm sorry, I just love loopholes in life. So yes, Ghost by McAfee is a fucking service. It's been tested. It runs in 35 fucking countries now. We've tested it all over America. You can, go on to the Ghost by McAfee phone site and look at the tests, or just look at my tweet page. So no, we've got that. Then the other thing is, see, the world forgets that we're all not all one happy fucking family. I mean, there is the Eastern Bloc, was once part of the Soviet Union, And there are some very powerful countries there that what? Number one, hate what? America, and actually Western Europe and almost everybody else, that are just waiting for someone like me, my sorry ass, to come along and say, "Hey, do I have a solution for you? You want to fuck America in the ass? Let me show you how." Well, they go, "We're with you." So I simply made a deal with a very large Eastern European country that America's going to have to go to war and invade them before they shut this fucking phone system down. And they are the backbone of my technology.
Am I going to be able to bring my number with me? Can I? Do I get to keep my?
There's no numbers. There's no numbers.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I'm sorry. We passed numbers. Okay, it's
Gotcha.
simply we give you a fucking code. You scan it into your eSIM compatible phone, and you're up and running. All right. Now, how do you call somebody? You don't call somebody. I mean, you got Skype, you got DMs on Twitter, you've got DMs on. Listen, if you can't communicate without dialing a fucking phone number, well then, my phone's not going to help.
So you keep your apps, you keep your Twitter and Facebook apps.
Yeah, oh yes, it does. Everything you keep, it all fucking works just as is. You understand? Only now, where you are when you DM someone on Twitter, even Twitter doesn't fucking know. Nobody knows who you are. Well, obviously, if you're on Twitter, they know, well, okay, that must be James' account, all right, or John's account, or no. I mean, yeah, that, but does it matter? If you want true privacy, then, fire up some other fucking app. And if you just don't want to be known where you are, do you understand? The foundations of all surveillance is based on your location, people. Your fucking location. I mean, the ads that you get, right, on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, Google, are based on what? Your location. How many times have you gotten an ad for a restaurant that's in a fucking city 3 states away? It doesn't happen. No, it's 6 o'clock or 7 in the evening, and they notice that you're on the corner of 1st and 5th Avenue, and right around the corner is a Japanese restaurant, and they've noticed that you've eaten at fucking Japanese restaurants for 5 times in the past month. Suddenly, you get oh, by the way, there's a Japanese restaurant special tonight only, tuna tatake, and all the sake you can drink for $22. Oh, fuck me. No.
So it's safe to say all the retargeting won't work on you then. If you have a ghost phone, you're going to get ads, random ads.
Which is why I'm going to be the pariah of the world. It's not just America, not just Western Europe. No, it's Google, Facebook, Twitter. They're all going to be taking out fucking contracts on my goddamn head. Trust me. What? What's Google going to do? How does Google make its fucking money? Where is this mofo? Google says, right here within 30 feet, I can guarantee it. No, they're going to lose that capability, and it's going to cost them money. And who are they going to blame? John McAfee. Now, I could not have done this. Do you understand? Nobody could have done this if they were the normal citizen living in Kansas City, Missouri, at 1321 Elm Avenue. Why? I would be collected immediately. I know many of you think this is not how the world works, but please, God, trust me, it is. It is. I mean, if you cannot see this, if you cannot see that people like Jeffrey Epstein, who has the goods on every politician in America, gets whacked or hangs himself, a 6-foot man from a 5-foot bed. Tell me how that works. I don't know. If you don't see this, move back into your mother's basement because some shit's coming down that you're not going to be able to deal with, people.
Right. So you're saying Epstein did kill himself? Or didn't?
No. Well, he's 6 feet tall. He hung himself from a 5-foot bed. Tell me how that's possible. Tell me how the fuck is that possible?
It's called a lot of
double bunk, 5 feet tall and a 6-foot man hangs himself from it. Please, I mean,
John, it's called determination. It's called determination, John.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, stranger things have, in fact, happened. I mean, I guess Trump became president and things like that. But still, I just, it boggles my mind that people think that motherfucker actually killed himself. Think about this. Number one, he had enough goddamn money to win any court battle in the fucking world, and we all knew it. Billions. You tell me what judge, jury can't be bribed with a few $1 billion. I'm sorry, let's get real.
So I'm glad you swayed over into politics a little bit. We were talking about the civil unrest, and you're always talking about power grabbing, and you've ran for president a couple times, if I remember correctly. Anything you want to say about what's going on? Where is America at right now?
Well,
besides in a world of shit.
Well, that's a heavy question. America is teetering, literally, people, on the verge of collapsing the great experiment of democracy, in my mind. It really is. Please look around. You have a president that's threatening to call in the military to police American citizens. Now, I can't think of a stupider thing because, first of all, we're talking about racial unrest, whether it's real or not. We're not going to argue that. It is perceived as a racial disturbance, racial riots, racial conflict. The American military is 43% black. Back to life, Google it. Number two, the military takes an oath of office to support the Constitution, which says plainly the military may not be used to police American citizens. Now, it also, unfortunately, in the oath, you have an oath to obey the president, whoever sits in that fucking Oval Office, no matter what. You take a military which seriously does not want to be involved in this shit. Why? They got serious goddamn problems with Russia, China, Iraq, Iran, the Middle East, you fucking name it. And the president says, I want to put you out on the streets to shoot at other Americans. Now, imagine this. The Army policing the cities of Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi.
And we're in Kentucky. So, yeah.
And South Carolina or Kentucky. No, right? You understand where I'm going? Where every single human being from the age of 12 to 90 is armed. And you put the military in this position. To the fucking teeth. Yeah. I mean, listen, I've lived in all of those states, by the way. And I'm a gun advocate because I believe that an armed society is a polite society. And if you doubt that, stop watching Western movies and read Western history where every man, woman, and fucking child was armed, at least with a Colt 45. Yep. What happened when someone stumbled out of a saloon and bumped into someone going in? Both of them, no matter how drunk the motherfucker came out, took their hat off and said, I'm sorry. Yeah. Why? Because both knew that the other was armed, okay? The sober man's going, motherfucker, he's drunk, he's armed. I'd better be fucking polite here. The drunk man goes, motherfucker, he's sober, he's going to outdraw me, I'd better. No. The hat tipping, the apologies, the social interactions were the most polite of any society on this planet.
We were
with the exception
we were
of
a respectful community.
That's fucking me. You listen, if you know everybody's armed, well, god damn it, you had better well be respectful. Now, the only more polite society was the Renaissance. Now, what was the number one indicator of gentlemanly or ladylike behavior in the Renaissance. You had a fucking sword. Everybody had a fucking sword. Even the women carried knives. Why? That was polite. You didn't have a knife, you're like, hey, you're not a gentleman. No. So, same fucking thing. And what happened in the Renaissance? The greatest flowering of art, architecture, poetry, and science since the beginning of the human species. People, please, if you are not armed, you do not give a flying fuck about society, the world, and specifically your goddamn family. What's going to happen to your family if the shit hits the fan and people storm your house, rape your wife, your kids, and you, if you're not able to defend your loved ones? God damn it, people, wake up. I'm sorry.
We couldn't agree with you more, actually. We're all on the same page.
I'm sorry. Listen, I really am sorry. I did not mean to go off on that rant. And it's a personal preference.
No, but you're exactly right. Even the left, you know, this whole pandemic shit that went down and all this, even during that, when people were like, wow, this is getting out of hand, and even the leftists, the anti-gun people, started buying guns and started asking friends, you know, how do I go about buying a gun?
Holy shit, people were overtime. Janice just gave me this. I got to run. This is supposed to be a half hour. It's gone on for almost an hour. I'm not going to charge you for it, but I do have to leave. I've got another one.
Maybe another time then, John.
Okay. Janice, put these motherfuckers on the list, would you? I have a list of people I am willing to talk to again. Maybe one in 30 or 40. You guys just make that if you want. And if you do want to talk to me, again, I think, well, these mofos got nothing to do with me. That's support. Nevertheless, I'll talk to you again.
Well,
all right,
John, if you're ever interested in doing a podcast, you let me know. I'll put you on the Lose the Radio Network on Facebook. You can have any night you want for as long as you want.
I'm sure. I'm not. But thank you, my friend.
I'll thank Janice for us. She was very accommodating and very
Janice,
sweet.
Janice, come here, please. She's right here. And is she not? I have never done a single podcast when someone has not said what you guys just said.
Yeah, hello, Janice. Thank you.
She's a gem.
You're
very welcome.
Very accommodating. It was very easy to work with you. We just really appreciate both of you taking the time. And please do put me on the list of people he's willing to talk to.
Of course, I will do that. No problem.
Anytime you get bored and the wine's not working, you can shout at me.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you both for your time.
So much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye, Janice. All right, guys.
Now we'll transition.
An hour.
Wow, that was awesome. We just talked to John, the man, McAfee.
For an hour.
For an hour.
Yeah.
It's
it's kind of what I was thinking, man. We got to let John deliver his message. And I guess people didn't hear it on the live, right? Because we were talking to John prior to us going live. And he was a trip even before then.
Yeah.
And he said, don't put the ball in my court. He said, you ask questions and I'll talk. And he made it so easy to interview him.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I don't know about you, Steve. I'm just glad to get to talk to someone with his level of experience, whether you agree with what he's saying, whether you disagree with what he's saying. Me being an entrepreneur from drug and alcohol addiction and a tech kind of guy, like we both are.
Yep.
I just wanted to see what he's about. And if I understood that correctly, we made his I will talk to these folks again list.
Yes, yes.
And I've got Janice's contact. So, all right, Steve, you ready to roll out?
Yeah. Let me. I don't have any going out music pulled up.
Yeah, that's all right.
If you give me a second, no, we would do this right.
I was so into that. I haven't looked at my phone yet. I don't know how many people were watching. I don't know if Janice retweeted it on Twitter. I have no idea, but I'll email her and ask her to retweet it.
For sure.
And then, of course, everything that you heard here today is going to be packaged up into a nice little podcast over on Lose the Radio and also on my page, my Spreaker account. I have a podcast and I'll label it. So if you tuned in late and you didn't catch, you can rewatch any of these videos on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter via Periscope. And we'll also be uploading the audio and podcast. That was awesome.
Absolutely. James, thanks for reaching out to me and letting me be a part of this. I My blood is still pumping. I'm so excited, man. That was completely awesome.
I like what he said. I don't care, like, regardless of what he's done or whether you disagree with him or whatever, he was fun.
Exactly. He's the kind of guy that whether, if you were at a bar with him, I know you don't drink or whatever, and he was getting shit, he would still be a fun guy. He would be like just a regular Joe Blow that maybe a little eccentric, but whatever. I mean, he's a genius. He's a computer genius,
Yeah, like he said about the guy that he met that was a what do you say, a hitman, and then he said, forgive me for saying this, but he was a nice guy. That took me by surprise a little bit, but I get it. Right? John's a nice guy. I really enjoyed them. So guys, you all tune in for more over at Lose the Radio here on James Sweasy Live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest. I'm kidding. Nobody gives a shit about Pinterest.
Again, thank you, and let's roll out of here, buddy.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining.